Holy cow.
The Dorkening and all affiliated shows are not intended for anyone under the age of 18. The following may contain discussions or scenes that have adult situations, graphic violence, nudity, strong sexual content, and graphic language. This show is intended for mature audiences only. Viewer discretion is advised.
Rise and shine, my sinners. When Father Evil starts his day, he gets a little deadly. Deadly Grounds coffee has the richest, smoothest flavor you'll find anywhere. It's sinfully delicious. Once you go deadly, you never go back. Order yours at getdeadly.com. Coffee's so good, it's scary.
Persons under 18 will not be admitted.
What the fuck are we gonna do now?
Get high.
What's happening, everybody? Welcome to another kick-ass episode of Still Toking with. Well, yeah, you know who I am, so I don't really need to say it, I don't think. But I'm super excited about tonight because not only do we have a killer guest, but man, we have an amazing co-host. Like, this dude is super eye candy for you ladies. I'm just saying.
I was just going to say, my eye candy is back.
Right. Well, without further ado, let's bring in the one, the only, Leo.
No, Jeffrey's the eye candy. I don't. Anyway, yeah. Hey, yeah, how's it going?
Welcome back. How are you?
Doing well. It's been definitely a crazy year. You know, as you know, just had a lot of life stuff going on. We moved, so different spot here, and yeah, just making do.
Looks good, and you still haven't got the curtain up though.
It's a
blind.
It's a blind, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, don't need curtains.
Yeah, he doesn't live on the base anymore. He doesn't have any peeping Tom neighbors.
I know. We got like, there's a church behind me, so it's like nothing bad. So
Is there a graveyard back there?
I was just going to ask,
No.
is there a graveyard? No.
No.
Not that you know, but could be buried under the leaves.
Or under the house.
Yeah. Could be.
I don't say that too.
You'll sleep good tonight, Leo, knowing all that.
Oh yeah, always, yeah. You never know. It's a new house, so it's not new. It's an old house, so it could be haunted. You don't know,
Right.
You know,
Yeah, but that
it's,
can be a good thing.
yeah.
So, and of course, that voice you hear in your head, as always, Jeffrey.
The other eye candy, if you're blind. Yeah, so I'm looking forward to. I'm looking forward to tonight. This guy's incredible. His work is incredible. We've chatted a few times over the years at conventions and stuff like that. It's about time we actually got him on the fucking show.
I know,
what I mean?
right? Like every time I try to
So-
lock him down, then that's kind of my fault. I drop the ball, and he gets so busy because he's one of those people that every convention kind of wants him there just because he is so amazing.
Oh, he's a freaking icon,
Well, he's definitely an icon. And I think I put it in my notes that he's legendary.
Oh hell yeah.
So,
Legendary.
I mean,
So without further ado, let's just bring him in, Mr. Keith Williams.
Hey guys.
look, we're gonna put you front and center for a minute.
Oh, great. Let me just get rid of this here.
That's all right. Took mine up too, so don't feel bad.
Wow,
How you doing,
your office
guys?
looks like mine. It's a mess.
There
But that's what good. That's how you get good work, right?
you go. Exactly.
Right?
I know where everything is.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I know
How
I
you
put
guys
that
doing?
over there. We're doing well. How are you doing?
Doing great. Thank you for inviting me, guys. I really appreciate this.
Oh, thank you for taking time out of your extremely busy schedule to grace us with your legendary presence.
Oh gosh.
Uh,
You're making me blush, guys. Stop.
We're good at that.
yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So, were you in Rhode Island this past weekend?
No, I was not actually.
You weren't. Oh.
No.
I never
no,
got a
no.
chance to make it out there, but
I was there a few years back. It was a really good show. So
Right.
hopefully I'll be able to make it back there one of these years.
yeah, it's
Well-
big. It's huge.
We got
Yes.
Speaking of conventions and things, I mean, for those of you that don't know Keith, well, shame on you first of all. But for those of you that do know Keith and want to see him, Keith has five more appearances coming up. So
Wow.
he's got New Jersey Comic Fest November 10th, the Big Apple Comic Con November 23rd, NECC in Boxborough November 29th, CH Collectibles December 7th, and then he finishes off his amazing tour at Ocean City Comic Convention in Maryland, which I didn't get a date for. So Google it, deal with it.
Yeah, right.
Right.
What is the date for that one? Oh gosh. That's the 14th and the 15th
There you go,
of
folks.
December.
14th and
December.
15th. And then he's going to take time off to spend with his amazing wife.
Okay. Yeah. Yes, I am. Absolutely. Work I gotta finish. But yeah, I'll be doing that.
So, what are you currently working on?
Right now I'm working on something for Filbo Productions. And gosh, what is the name of that book? Can't remember it at this moment, but oh wait, there we go. Let me just go and find it here, and I'll be able to tell you exactly what it is. It's called Wither.
Wither.
BD inker on it, and yeah, and it's gonna be a really cool book. It's about demons and lots of
Cool.
demons and angels fighting. So
Oh, nice.
it's very
And-
interesting.
And what company is that with?
That's with Filbo. Yes, Filbo Publishing.
Oh,
Nice.
okay.
Yes.
So you folks will have to you'll folks out there watching and listening to us, you'll have to check the show notes up above or down below, and make sure you follow Keith so you can stay, on top of everything that he does, because I mean, he just doesn't stop.
I'm a workaholic. It's horrible, guys.
Right.
But it's also good. I get the work done, but I'm in this room a lot.
Right. So you just released the Keith Williams sketchbook.
Yes, that's right.
And what was it? Halloween anthology that you
and a Halloween anthology. Yes, the Keith Williams sketchbook was produced by New Pain Productions. Keith Champagne is the guy that runs that. He's really a great guy. He's the champagne of Keith's. So he's really cool. But yeah, he put the book together for me, and it looks great. And you could pick up a copy at any of the conventions that I go to. That also the Halloween anthology book, which it was written by Joe Yankovic, and I actually did the cover for them, which has this woman stabbing this decapitated guy's head, again, carving him up like a pumpkin. There it is. Look at that.
And this is why we brought Leo back, folks.
Thank you, Leo. Thank you. So there you go. And she the cover was popular enough to make her become the narrator to introduce the stories on the inside of the book. So
wow.
Yeah. So, and I believe this is going to be a Valentine's Day story with that character. Her name is Lucy. She's the devil's daughter, and we don't know a whole lot about her yet, but I'm sure that she'll get more fleshed out as time goes by. Hey, hi, Peter.
And I also got the sketchbook up here as well.
There you go.
Nice. Well, while Leo's showing those pictures, Carrie Saunders asked a question. She said, "Are you a pen and brush inker, or have you moved over to using digital mediums as well?"
Okay. Actually, I am working with a digital medium besides also brush and pen. That's what I started out with, was the Crow pen. Use like 102 pen points, hunt pen points. You dip it in ink, and you work with it on regular Bristol paper. Same thing with brush. That's like a Winsor Newton series 7, number 2 or 3 that I would use. Digital, working with a Wacom tablet.
Oh, nice.
And I've taught myself how to pencil and also ink on that. So, but I really like traditional more, because it's actual solid paper, something physical, something that you could show to other people, live and sell.
Mm-hmm.
I do artwork on totally digitally, but that's usually for prints, things like that. And I would color them using Photoshop, or I would use Copic markers if it's on regular Bristol paper.
Very cool.
Nice.
Very cool. So Matthew Fisher, yes, that is the Leo Pond, the one and only Leo Pond, making an appearance on our show this evening. If it wasn't, I will say real quick, if it wasn't for Leo, all those years ago, grabbing Jeff and I and doing an interview with us, we wouldn't be up here doing these amazing shows. And if it wasn't for Leo producing the opener and the Dorkening Podcast Network, then we would be probably watching TV right now.
No, not at all. Not at all.
So, so we have two legends in the house tonight.
All right.
Yes,
Only
one of them worked with Joe Sinnott, John Byrne, and been at like the birth of Marvel. It's
right.
Well, I didn't go really that far back, but I was buying comics at that time, though. I was a kid at that point.
Yeah.
Believe it or not, I was a kid at some point. But I was when I was a kid, I was basically a DC cat guy. I didn't really even know about Marvel at that moment. And first comic book was a Batman comic, which was
Yeah.
really cool. My grandma gave me that first comic, and then like every weekend when she would come over to visit us, she'd always bring more books. And they're usually, all basically
Nice.
DC. Marvel was something I discovered on my own, and it kind of blew my mind. It was totally different from any of the stuff that they had at DC.
Wow.
So,
what was the very first character you drew?
First character that I drew, as professional or as
No, when you were a kid, what was the very
oh god.
first?
Okay. The first one I really remember that I named was Catman. So everybody has to have a Catman. So it was like me and my friend. We lived in the projects. We would hang out in the hallways of the project and do drawings and stuff like that on paper, and like write the story, draw it, and create a whole mess of what we thought then was cool characters. So,
Okay.
yeah. He moved on to other things, and I just got caught with wanting to like draw superhero characters myself, and it just stuck with me.
I would say.
Yeah, it did. Yeah, professional for over 40 some odd years now. So
Right. I mean, you've worked
it's
on.
called a passion.
Right.
yeah, there you go. There
Right.
you go.
I mean, you've worked on a lot of stuff, and most people would know you from working on the Phantom.
Oh yeah, yes.
So
Yes.
how is that project to work on?
Oh, that is crazy. It was great, but it was very deadline oriented stuff to do. I would be I was the inker on that, and we had to do the dailies, and the dailies were from Monday to Saturday. So you had to make sure that you had everything done. Like you're supposed to have a little bit amount of time to do it, but we were always like, getting it close, a little too close to when it was ready
Down to
to
the
go
wire.
into the comic strips and into the papers,
Right.
And oh my gosh, and that was besides me working still at Marvel or DC or doing something else while I was working on that at the same time. There was no vacation time when you worked on the Phantom. You bring it with you if you did go somewhere. I would bring all my art supplies and the pages, the panels that I would have to do for that week so that I could get out and not be late. It was the same thing for the creator of it, Lee Falk. He had to take it wherever he went, and he would usually go to Truro, Massachusetts during the summer and work on that stuff there. And George Olesen, who was the penciler, if he traveled overseas to visit his family, he brought that stuff with him, and he sent it to me Federal Express so I can get it done.
No.
Oh yeah,
Did you ever miss?
yeah.
Did you ever miss a deadline?
There was one or two times that it got really tight. But fortunately, I was able to, I still get it in so that I was able to make, like the deadline for that strip to come out in that newspaper at that, like that moment in time. Fortunately, yeah, they frown on getting that stuff in late. Like I'm sure there's some kind of penalty by the printer to, that they would have to pay because of its lateness. So yeah, you have to be on time. This way, you get more work. When you're good.
Right.
Wow. What was one of your favorite things that you worked on?
Favorite things?
Yeah, one of your
I got to tell you,
most favorite.
Spider-Man. Spider-Man was one of my favorites. I was watching that show back in 1966, the cartoon. Okay, and I watched the other shows, like the live action one and stuff, and that was on television back then. And I loved the character. He was like a normal guy with superpowers,
Mhm.
You know, he had a life, he had family. You know, you got to see the family, you got to see his friends, and him dealing with high school and everything, which I finally, you know, when I got into high school, yeah, I felt that the bullying, all that craziness that would go on, you know, like in high school. Except I didn't have superpowers, uh, like Pete did. But
Yeah.
it was great working on Web of Spider-Man. I did that for like about 5 years with Alex Selviak,
Nice.
and I was assistant editor on the books for about a good 9 months with Jim Owsley, who
Wow.
asked me to become his assistant editor while I was working as Romita Raider in the offices of Marvel. So that was a big surprise, him asking me to do that. So yeah, that was an amazing experience too. So I got to work on Spider-Man, I got to work on Transformers, and there was some other specialty books that was out at that time that we also, you know, like had in the office. Great.
Yeah, you worked on the iconic Transformers Are All Dead issue.
That's right. Yeah, Jim
Yep.
was the editor of that. They really gave him a lot of grief for the title because they they said no, kids are gonna think that this is the end of the book, or that the Transformers are gonna die, you know, like, and stuff. You can't do that. But Jim stood his ground, and it went out, and they loved it. That's like the one of the most famous covers,
Oh yeah,
you know,
yeah.
like, at Marvel at that time. Yeah.
Well, that was a prime time for him to come out too, because like the toys were going strong. You know, I was a kid at that time, so I remember, you know, collecting toys, and my friend was getting the comics, and it
Oh
was,
yeah.
yeah, the early issues were a blast, which, you know, you worked on, starting with number 5, I believe.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right. I actually inked the little figure that's in the
Oh,
corner
nice.
box.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's awesome.
Yeah. That was cool. I had fun with that. Yeah, and I actually did a few issues, you know, but whew, that was with Don Perlin penciling, I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I did a few issues of them. Didn't get any toys. I think Bob Budiansky got all the toys. You know, he was the writer. He created the names for a lot of the characters and stuff. But yeah, like, I would have loved to have had some of those.
Hint, hint.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. You can see, hey, you know, send some over. I don't mind.
Christmas is coming, folks.
Yeah.
Well,
There you go.
You also worked with John Byrne during some of his critical runs as well, with his Superman run, and I think his Hulk run as well.
Yes, I worked with John. I started working with him on Alpha Flight when he was doing that, which was really great. And he actually introduced me in the pages of the comic, along with his name. He said introducing background inker Keith Williams.
Nice.
Who does that? Actually, nobody does that. Background inkers are usually very, very quiet, you know, like workers, you know, like that are very much needed sometimes to so that a book could make their deadlines. So that was really nice of him to do that for me, and there was a lot of work. John was very, you know, like detail oriented with his backgrounds, so there was a lot of work. So it was Alpha Flight, moved over when he did to the Hulk, so did those issues, and then when he went over to DC, he asked me if I was interested in doing backgrounds for him for Action Comics. So, you know, like I did a bunch of Action Comics with him, and then that finally, when he came back to Marvel, I actually had a chance to work with him on an issue of West Coast Avengers, and then after that it was She-Hulk.
Oh yes. Your She-Hulk
She-Hulk.
run. Totally
So
forgot.
I actually did the inking on that, full inks on She-Hulk, which was great and nerve-wracking also, but it was great. It was great working on that, and that's sort of like what the TV show was like, you know.
Yeah.
That breaking the fourth wall kind of stuff was really cool.
Yeah, because she would make some of the iconic covers with like her barely naked with the beach ball, but like making fun of, you know, like you know how people used to draw females in comics and stuff like that. Like, you know, is it really necessary and stuff like that? Yeah, it's those were great stories.
Yeah, they were fun. You know, like
Yeah.
I mean, and she was in on it. Even though she was probably in danger, she would still have that little side quip, and she did that before Deadpool even did it.
Yeah.
Right.
So yeah,
What did you think of the show?
I liked it. It was weird, and even at the end with that little turn, that came up. Like I went, that's it. That's She-Hulk. I could accept that. I thought it was a fun show. The animation, I know, like it wasn't perfect,
Yep.
and with the Hulk character when he appeared on there, they already had him all set up. They had his lighting and all the other stuff that was already in the computer, so he looked really good. With her, there was still a little bit of a problem with the animation, but it was okay. The story was fine. The person who played it was great. So I liked it.
Yeah, I agree. I loved it as well. And yeah, great point. Like Mark Ruffalo, they've been working on the movies with him for, so many movies, and they spent so much money on, perfecting his animation. And like a lot of fans, they nitpick on it, but they don't realize, like, you look back in 2008 when, they first started coming out,
right.
We would love to, back then we would have loved to get all these shows, but now, they're throwing so much content at us, and people got to complain about it. Just if you don't like it, watch it,
Don't have to watch it.
People just like to complain. Haven't you figured that out?
Yeah, I guess so. You see, I'm old enough to remember all the stuff that came out before that stuff, without the special effects, or with the really, really bad special effects. And I love the Hulk too. Okay, the Bill Bixby.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and Lou Ferrigno, yeah.
Hey, that was great.
Yeah,
right.
But I go, a lot of the other stuff that came out at that time wasn't, and but I accepted it because that was what we had back then. Now I'm so glad that now you're able to do like the amazing computer animation that they're able to do now. Like to make it really look like the comic book characters and the stories.
Right.
Yeah.
I think it's cool.
Well, I mean, even video games,
Somewhat
they've come so far. You know what I mean? When I was a kid, we played Pong. We had these little screens that statically stuck to the TV so you could drive the racetrack.
Oh gosh! You want to know old? Wait, I when I used to go to my grandma's house, they used to have on a black and white screen. They would have green, red, and yellow plastic that you would put onto the screen, and that would be color TV. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Wow. Oh yeah. Yeah. I don't know if you guys know. I don't know if you guys ever seen that, but yeah, that was color television for us back then.
Wow. So we did have a couple questions come in. Matt Fisher wants to know, what did you think of the Phantom movie?
Oh, I thought it was great. I thought it was a little campy. It got like oh gosh, what's his name? Oh gosh, he just died recently. Who was the bad guy in there? Treat Williams. He chilled up the scenery a little bit, but it was still I loved how the Phantom was played. Billy Zane did a great job. It felt like the character that I was working on at the time, and I was just working on it. I think I was involved for about 2 years at that point with it, so when I saw him writing Hero and the cave and everything, I thought, wow, cool. They got the Phantom, and I'm sure that if they allowed it, yes, he was great, yeah, and I think if they allowed a second movie or something like that, it probably would have gotten even better. As a matter of fact, I got the ring right here.
That's awesome.
There you go, and that's the movie ring.
See, folks, I told you he was legendary.
Right.
And I got to meet Billy Zane. We went to the premiere. That was in New York, and it was great watching it in the movies with Lee Falk, and I was there, and my wife, and we walk up and say hi to Billy Zane, and talk to him for a few seconds, and it was great.
Yeah. I think movies like that are supposed to be kind of campy.
Maybe a little bit, yeah. I sometimes think that some of the producers are a little worried. They see the word comic in comic books, and they think that they have to be like a little funny. I get it if it like relieves the tension of the story, that how it's going and stuff like that. But uh, like it was like the Phantom and the Shadow came out at the same time, just about. And the Shadow, like the Shadow was the beginning of the Shadow was great. Part that bothered me was when they would Margot and her father was chasing the atom bomb up and down the stairs, and then the atom bomb seemed to have gotten behind them and was chasing them down the stairs. And I went, oh, come on, you don't have to do this. You don't need that.
Yeah.
Right.
There was places where they could have natural funny stuff happen, just come naturally, and they didn't have to do the extra thing. I mean, the
Yeah,
Shadow.
you can't force it.
Right, you can't
Right.
force it. That's it.
Right.
Just let it flow. Don't.
So,
Yeah.
Carrie was wondering. I'm going to put this up because it's a longer question, but she wants to know: have you ever had someone whose pencils have been particularly difficult to work with, or someone who you just love getting pencils from more than usual?
Well, I think all pencils are like difficult to work with when you first start working on them with a new person. It took me a little bit of time to get the rhythm with Alex and or Greg Capullo, or like any of the other, like John Byrne. Scared the daylights out of me. But once you figure out how to do things like She-Hulk's hair or Spider-Man's webs on his outfit, uh, then it becomes a little easier. And but it takes time. Anybody that I start with that's new, Doug Monkey doing the mask, stuff like that. It just takes a little time to get to know the guy and what I should use, if it's a Crowquill pen or if it's a brush, or like at that time it was basically just that. There was no markers, there was no brush markers, things like like that would not like fade. Most of the markers that we had back then would turn to like a purplish color after a few years. You don't want that, so you kind of stick with the Higgins Black Magic ink at the time, and that would usually leave a solid black on there that would last for years.
My pencils would be easy to work with. It's all stick figures.
That's how I started. That's what I started out with. You can send me some. I'll work on them for you. No problem. No problem, guys.
That's funny.
That is funny.
So I wanted to ask you about something I read. This is actually in your artist statement. Okay. The subject matter in my art is reactionary with the world and things going on around me.
Did I say that?
Yep, came right off of your website, Pally.
Holy!
That's why I wanted to ask you about it. What did you mean by that?
What did I mean by that? What did I?
What year did I write that?
Holy cow! Gee, I didn't think I was that deep, guys. Seriously. I guess it's maybe what I might have meant was doing the reference that I have to use sometimes to put together certain things, especially if I'm doing the pencils myself. I have to study and figure out what would be right for a certain piece that I'm drawing or working on, a certain commission that I'm doing. Person would ask me to do something that has a character and involves a city street or whatever it is. You gotta think about how it's going to look, if it's daytime or if it's nighttime. Is it like what part of the year it is and stuff like that. I guess that's
Okay.
that might have been what I that might have been what I meant.
I read into it a little bit as if if you're having a good day versus having a bad day. If you're having a bad day, maybe I was looking at it as maybe an artwork that you're drawing or something that you're just kind of working on becomes a little darker.
Well, there have been some, there have been some pieces of artwork that I've done that felt pretty dark in some sort
Well,
sort
because
of ways.
I think mood. I think your personal mood can affect what you present or what comes out of you.
I'll tell you. Sometimes like it's weird, but if I maybe was kind of upset about something, I don't know why, but I think that energy kind of like transfers onto the artwork. Sometimes it makes it. Sometimes I feel like it makes it work better. I don't know. I don't know why.
Right.
But it does sometimes. If I'm in a good mood, there's it works too. But it might
Right.
work in a kind of different way. Sometimes I could I use a brush, and I could be working and it just flows and it just works great. And then there's other times when it's like, I forgot how to use this thing. What the heck? What the heck's going on here? It's weird. And then I would like switch over to Quill, and use that because maybe I might feel like I have a little more control with that. I'm sure emotions play a lot into a lot of stuff that I work
He's going to be
with.
going back to his website now and being like, I got to edit this shit.
I'm gonna like, yeah, this is like,
I knew I should have updated that.
What the heck?
Well, I look at the artwork as similar to like poetry and writing. You know what I mean? Your mood and how you feel really reflects the product that comes out of you.
Yeah. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
I could say that. Yeah. There's sometimes when I really not too often, but sometimes when I just like to say that I really wish I could just like take today off, and not touch it, and then there are other days when I just can't wait to work on it and get the stuff finished, and give it to whoever it is I'm supposed to give it to. I guess it all really does depend.
Are you ever 100% completely satisfied with a finished piece?
No,
No,
never.
no.
I always feel like there's something else that needs to be done to it, but I have to stop.
Right.
I got to stop myself because I think John Amito even said this. You can keep working on something and you'll never get it done. You got other stuff to do. You're gonna keep messing around with this one thing. You can't do that. You gotta know when to just call it quits.
When to cut it off,
and hope that whatever you're seeing that still needs to be done, that either they don't see it or they'll accept it. They'll go along with it.
Right.
Whatever you're finished with.
I think that goes for anything or anybody that's creative. Because I find myself doing the same thing when I write. Like I'll write
same thing.
I'll write 20 pages, into the novel, and I'll go back to the first page and go, oh wait, this sounds better. And I'll change. And then I find myself reading the 20 pages going, oh man, I could have just typed another 20 pages and I just edited all this shit.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. Right. You could be sitting there working on just that one thing and noodling around with it for hours, and you're like wasting time here, guy. You could just leave it alone for now. Maybe you come back to it maybe a little later on, and maybe you'll look at it again. You'll look at it with fresh eyes, and you'll just like say, "Oh, okay, it's all right. It's gonna be okay." I can put this over to the side. I could start working on something else. Yeah.
Well, I do that with my woodworking. Yep.
We're definitely our own worst critics. It's especially with creative work.
Yes. Oh, absolutely. Nothing. I will never be satisfied with. I'm still learning stuff. I'm always learning.
Well, you're constantly growing, and that's what makes you who you are. That what makes you a legend. It's you're continuing to improve yourself.
Well, I just find it exciting because like for years I was just like doing inking work, and now I'm like I'm doing penciling, and that was mostly because of like the way Photoshop was taking a lot of the jobs like away from inkers. I just
Hmm.
had to like decide, am I going to stay in this? If I'm going to stay in this business, I gotta just start working on
Adapt.
my pencils, try and refine them again, relearn the stuff that I kind of like lost because I was so into just doing inking over other people's work. I had to teach
Right.
myself how to ink over my own stuff. Not easy.
Hmm.
I'm still learning how to do that.
Well, that makes sense. Well,
So,
so
so Keith, does
what's
this
your
work? No, that don't work. Ink it
yeah,
again.
that's all right. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
my own boss now. It makes it even worse. Makes it even worse.
So I
Jeez.
wanted to ask you, what's your take or what's your feeling or opinion on AI?
I think that AI, like anything else, like the Wacom tablet, like doing digital stuff, it's all a tool. It's a tool. I feel that people who want to be involved in art, that they should learn how to, just me, like learn how to do the basics. Learn how to work with a pencil, learn how to work with ink and like a quill or brush, things like that. Learn that, and it doesn't have to be the style of this, like superhero or like whatever. It's whatever you feel like you enjoy, and then like use the AI to get the ideas that might be a little hard for you to get totally. And ask the AI, yeah, you can have like Superman, like flying over buildings or beating up Darkseid or something like that, and have that, and maybe you might get a good shot. But don't use that as the shot.
Right.
Don't use the AI. Then you got to draw it. You got to take it upon yourself to like draw it and add your like whatever your 2 cents is into
And so
that
so you
AI.
look at AI as the people should use it more for inspiration than anything else.
There you go.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah, more as inspiration than as a finished piece of art. I know not everybody agrees with that, but that's yeah.
No, I think it was a great answer. you know. Um, Question. So, what was it like for you to receive the Inkwell Awards Above and Beyond Award?
I I didn't even realize I was I was doing anything like that. It was totally a gigantic surprise to me. Like I never thought that I was going to win, like or get anything like that in my life.
Right.
Like I'm just an inker, and especially at that time, I wasn't really inking anything that was being published. I was just like doing commissions and things like that. But
Mm-hmm.
I was doing a lot of Inkwell, Joe Sinnott um, uh, contributions for their auctions and things, and I guess I did more than anybody else. I didn't realize it, but I guess I did. I really enjoyed doing them. I enjoyed inking over Joe Sinnott, which was really cool. Um, and uh, and all the other people that I was able to ink over, like Neil Adams and like whoever else was guest starring, like in the Inkwell uh, inking challenge. It was great, and I was really appreciative that they thought to give me an award for that. It was very nice of them.
See?
Yo, would you get it like coffee cup or something?
It was yeah. No, it was a Rolex. No, it was it was a really cool sort of like ink drop that has like the Inkwell Awards on it. Has my name on it, above and beyond on it, and it was
Oh, nice.
very
Okay.
very cool, very cool. And
Nice.
yeah, and I thank the guys, like at the Inkwell Awards and Bob Allman, like who I've known for years. Like they're all really cool guys there. And I'm going to be doing a challenge again for this year too. So
Oh, nice.
I definitely will. Yes.
So that's award number 2.
Oh well,
Uh,
I think as long as I keep going, I'm not going to
Right.
stop doing that stuff.
Tell them you want a bigger Inkwell this time.
I think I'm fine with the one that I got, guys. I'm happy with that.
That's excellent. That's excellent.
So Keith, you got into comics because of your love of comics itself, and I'd like to go in a little bit into that. But first, do you still find time to read issues? And if you do, what do you read?
Wow. Actually, it's been a little bit of time since the last time I've actually really read a comic. The one that I did read most recently was The Immortal Hulk, which
Oh
I
yes,
thought was like absolutely incredible. That was fantastic. It was a great story. They did something with the Hulk that I never, could have imagined, and it became more of like a horror story than what it usually was. Like it wasn't. Well, they did have like battles and things like that, but like the psyche of the Hulk and just his power. It's like this guy is immortal. They really made sure you understood that, especially when they cut him in a whole mess of pieces and put them in separate bottles, and it was like, whoa, that was like so wild. It was like reading the Swamp Thing. During the Alan Moore period. That's the way it felt to me. I really enjoyed that.
Nice.
I like Batman too. There was some parts in it. I think it was just before and a little bit during the Catwoman stories with him.
Yep.
That I liked.
The Fear State was it was Tom King with Fear State, and then before that I forgot who it was. And then Carrie in the chat, she's on our show. She loves the Immortal Hulk as well. She recommended Philip Kennedy Johnson's current run on Incredible Hulk. And I totally agree with her. Yeah, that is absolutely brutal. Yeah. It's basically, he wanted to treat the Hulk as a monster as well, but as a monster that's chasing Bruce. And there's one spot where he's doing Bruce is trying to escape the Hulk, and the Hulk just takes him over. And then just the transformation of him getting ripped apart, going from Bruce to Hulk is just absolutely gruesome, but it's an incredible story as well.
Okay. Hey, if they're in trade paperbacks, I will look at them. That's how I discovered the Immortal Hulk.
I mean, I personally suggest Toking with the Dead, but
just saying. Okay.
They do have 5 issues out, and the 6th one is going into production.
I'm beginning to feel like Steve Rogers putting, writing down a list of things he should look at now that he's, he's been, thrown into the 2000s. Oh yeah, I should be doing this too. Okay, I will.
Go ahead.
Oh no. I was just gonna and sorry to monopolize, but I'm gonna add one more book to your reading list.
Okay.
If you're a Batman fan, definitely check out Absolute Batman.
Oh, I've heard of the Absolute storylines. Yeah, I haven't picked them up yet. Okay.
Yeah. Right. So it's only 3 books so far. It's and all of them are issue 1: Batman, then Wonder Woman, and then Superman just dropped today. But essentially, they just did a storyline. But essentially, Superman finally destroys. The Justice League finally destroys Darkseid, and he is reborn on another universe. And essentially, they're calling this universe Elseworld. But essentially, he creates a whole universe where superheroes didn't exist. It's all evil. And these are the heroes as they're starting out for the first time, in a universe of evil. So Batman isn't a billionaire, but he still has his drive. he lost one of his parents, but he's like a construction worker, so he's like super bulk. Yeah, it's like really ground root superheroes, and the stories are amazing.
Oh, okay.
Know how to beat a character to death.
Right.
He does take an axe and chop somebody's hand off, which is
Oh, what?
yeah.
Are you kidding?
It's a brutal world, and he's
Oh my
going
gosh.
after all these serial killers, and like everybody's been making fun of this huge bat symbol that he has. But it's one scene where he takes out the stick, clicks it onto his bat symbol, and his bat symbol becomes an axe. And he just uses it to lop somebody's hand off. It is badass. Yeah.
Holy cow. Okay. All right.
Wow.
I'm gonna have to. I'm gonna be taking a walk to Forbidden Planet or Midtown Comics. One of those two. I'm gonna be visiting soon. I mean, what the heck happened? I leave comic books. I mean, I still do it, but I don't read them as much now. It's like I feel like I'm actually missing something.
Well, it's now it's like a revolution. They've like the original Batman run's been getting a little stale for a while, and the absolute sort of like the Ultimate Universe from Marvel.
Like Marvel.
Yep, Marvel. Yep, it's their version of Ultimate Universe.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, cool. Marvel Ultimate Universe is pretty cool. I did enjoy reading that. Yeah. Okay. I'm sold. Thank you.
Right.
Wow.
So Matt wants to know, is there a property that you would love to work with but haven't gotten the chance to work with?
Well, geez. I would love to work on Batman. I haven't touched that character. Except in my commissions and stuff like that. I would love to do that character. To me, Batman is cool. He's always prepared, and if he isn't, give him a day or two.
Well, now he's got to
figure out things, and he will take care of any character. I mean, good grief, he could beat Darkseid. I mean, come on, or at least Darkseid respects him enough to believe that if he ever threatens him, he knows that there must be some way for him to be able to do what he's threatening. So yeah. I would love to. I would love to work on Batman. Yeah.
Hint.
Yeah,
Hint.
Right.
Yes. I actually did do a Superman issue inking it totally. Which was really cool. But the other Supermans that I did was all background inking. Yeah. So yeah. Batman would be good.
Well, there you have it.
Yeah.
Oh, I'd love to. If you're talking about things in the past, if it was like Dave Stevens' Rocketeer, I would have loved to have inked him on Rocketeer. That was a beautiful book. I would love to work on it. Yeah.
So go ahead. Leo had a question. I saw.
Yeah. So speaking of Batman, your grandmother gave you Batman issue 184 for your very first comic.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So from what I read, you like reread that issue a bunch of times. And what I did a quick read before the episode today. So what drew you to that? Well, I know your grandmother.
Oh no, it's a quiz. Well,
I mean, I know it's been a while, but what do you remember of it that like when you started?
Basically the cover, I get and the red phone and cobwebs, I believe, and it was like Batman and Robin's face on the cover, I think. Do you have the picture of it?
Yeah.
He's pulling it up. Of course he is.
Of course he does. Yeah, and I thought that was so cool, but for some strange reason, I just remember that was the first comic book that was actually ever given to me. That it really, like wow, it was great. Before that, it was basically the Sunday comic strips and the dailies that would come in the daily news.
Mm-hmm.
Or the Sunday Daily News. Those were the things that I used to read all the time when I was a kid, and like comic books was like a whole new world for me. And I got to thank my grandma for that. My mom used to read comic books when she was a kid. She had things like she was born back when Superman first started and Batman and all that stuff. And she, she used to read those books. She used to trade with them and, totally destroyed them.
Oh yeah,
None of
all
them
of us did,
survived.
right?
Yeah, none of them survived.
Yeah.
But
We could have retired on some of those now.
Yep. Yep. I mean, as a kid, I spent a lot of time up in
there it
Maine.
is. That's it. That's it. Holy cow! Wow, that was so cool. I actually had that in my hand. Good grief! What year was that? 64?
66.
66?
66.
Okay.
Wow.
And it was because of that when I saw the first commercial on Channel 7 ABC, and they had Batman there talking about when you hear the sound of the Batmobile, whatever it was, some kind of thing like that. And I said, "Oh my God, I gotta watch this. This is so cool. This is Batman. Wow, Batman and Robin. Yeah, yeah. I was always on.
Well,
I always loved the comic books and the science fiction stuff. Saw the first Batman show when it first came out. The first episode. Same thing with like Star Trek and things like that. When I saw a ship floating around in space, circling a planet, I got to see this. What time is it coming on? And am I
Right.
gonna and are my parents gonna allow me to watch it? But they did. Same thing with Lost in Space.
Oh
Like
yeah.
all
in
that
space.
stuff.
Yeah.
I loved all of that stuff that they had back then. Dark Shadows. So
Wow,
like I love So I love superheroes, sci-fi, and horror.
Oh, nice.
Was great.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you've worked on a ton of stuff from Marvel to DC to everything in between. But one of my favorites, and believe it or not, and this is a book that I recently picked up from you, and that was the Harlem Hellfighters that you worked on with Max Brooks.
Yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah.
For the viewers? I mean, I know what it's about, but
it's great, and it's Kanan White was actually the penciler on it, and I did the inks and inked the cover and the interiors, which I think were about over 200 and some odd pages of a graphic novel about World War One, African Americans wanting to fight in the war. The U.S. actually not really, thinking that it'd be a cool thing for African Americans to have guns in their hands or to learn how to fight, but they did get stationed. Can't remember exactly where it was, but they were taught how to be soldiers. Went through a lot of strife, a lot of problems. Was finally the only way they were able to really fight was to go over to France, and France was able to use them, the French. And they came away with a record that was like better than most other groups. And it was absolutely amazing that the story is part fiction, but it was something to be able to introduce all of the people that were like fighting at that period of time in World War One, and it was absolutely incredible. So it was great that it was a graphic novel because kids were able to look at this book. It is now in libraries. It is now in schools. It is in military schools. People would come up to me and tell me that they've read the book. That are people who love history. I didn't know anything about the Harlem Hellfighters. That would name the Harlem Hellfighters by the Germans. I knew nothing about them until I started working on it. I had no. This was all hidden history to me. So I find it absolutely amazing. You heard about the Red Tails, Tuskegee Airmen, things like that. Buffalo Soldiers.
Right.
Well, so you worked on something and got educated.
Yeah. It was great. It's like and still people you know, like I do sell the book at shows, and you know, I get a lot of compliments. You know,
Oh,
like on
I was
having it. It's really
yeah.
nice.
As soon as I saw it on your table, I picked it up. I went, this is right up my alley. I love military history, you know. And everybody will tell you that if it's military, if it's history with military, you'll find me sitting in front of the TV watching the History Channel. I mean, that's just I love those things. And when I saw the graphic novel sitting on your table, I said, "Wow, the Harlem Hellfighters! I've heard of it, I've heard about them, but I really never knew much about it." So I did read through the book once because it is signed. So I had to. I can't read it more than once.
You don't want to touch it. Okay.
I don't want to. I don't want to screw it up. You know. But yeah, my question was going to be: do you still have those at shows? And if you do, I'm going to tell all these people. You know,
I do. Yes.
Make sure you if nothing else, stop by his table just to take a look at that book and introduce yourself, because Keith would love to chat with you and maybe do a commission for you.
Definitely.
You know?
Definitely. Absolutely.
Well, I remember looking at it because I was right with you when you bought it. I'm looking, I'm like, that's a shit ton of fucking work right there, man.
Oh yeah.
Yes, it was. Holy cow.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was nuts, but it was great. I got to tell you, Kanan was absolutely amazing with the reference. You know, the uniforms. You know, like the machinery that they use, the guns, the rifles, everything. It was very authentic, and I don't even know what Max Brooks did. Man, I know he did tons of research before he wrote this, but I mean, it's absolutely incredible. It's just that it's great, like I said, that it's a graphic novel, because kids kind of like would be able to read it a lot easier than it just being, you know, like
just
text,
a novel.
you know?
Yeah,
just a novel. Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, I love it. I think that's by all times one of my favorites that you've worked on. No offense. I mean, because you've worked on a ton of stuff. Like I said, Marvel,
thanks,
DC,
man. No, that was a labor of love. That was a lot of work.
Yeah,
a lot of work.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So I'm going to suggest to everybody, you know, like I said at the beginning of the show, Keith's going to be at New Jersey Comic Fest. He's going to be at the Big Apple Comic Con, NECC, CH Collectibles in Ocean City, all through November and December. So make sure you follow the show notes up above or down below so you can go to the event and check out his work and pick up a copy of the Harlem Hellfighters, or even something else, maybe the Keith Williams sketchbook, or I mean, he's always got awesome shit on his table. I mean, every time I walk by the table, I stop and talk to him for a half an hour just because I'm going to look at all the shit that's on the table.
Thanks, Ben.
Yeah, for 4 years you've been saying we got to get him on the show. We got to get him on.
I know.
It's been the times I've seen you at Northeast. Yeah,
many times.
I think the first time we ever met him was at Super Mega Fest.
Oh, okay.
I think we met him at Super Mega Fest when issue 2 of our comic came out. We had all 5 of the people working on it there, and we were signing the CGCs.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah,
and he was set up in the same room, and we went over and talked to him, and I'm like, wow, he's just got amazing shit, you know. And
thanks,
I'm like, we got to get him on the show. We got to get him on the show. And I have him on my list, and then I see him at an event. I'm like, oh, fuck, I didn't get him on the show yet.
No, I'm so glad that we were finally able to do this. I really enjoy it.
I think I was waiting for him to come out with more stuff.
Oh, really? Okay.
Oh,
yeah,
God.
that's what I needed more stuff.
I was waiting for him to win the award because he won it last year. So I was just waiting. That's what it was.
Yeah, Bob actually had me announcing for this year for the awards that happened, and that was at Hershey. The Hershey Comic Con, yeah,
wow,
where they had the the award ceremony there. It was really cool and scared the daylights out of me. But
amazing,
you know.
Amazing. So we are running just a little over on time.
Oh, okay.
Which is no big deal. I mean, I don't mind. But you know, Leo probably has something he needs to do tonight. Jeff's probably waiting for his wife to finish dinner.
I got things I got to finish up. Yeah, it's okay. I understand. I get it.
I just wanted to say real quick, CH Collectibles that you're going to be at, I believe that's a new con in Connecticut, in Montville. Pretty sure that Keith Champagne's also going to be there. I think Tim Jones, Joe St. Pierre.
Those are all my pals. They're great.
Oh yeah. As a matter of fact, Keith Champagne and I grew up in the same hometown.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh, that's
yeah,
fantastic.
yeah.
I
And
like that.
Terrificon, he gave me the biggest hug when he saw me. As he's an awesome dude.
He's
So,
great. He's
yeah.
great. I always enjoy talking to him, hanging out with him. He's like I said, he's the champagne of Keats. So hey.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that must make you what? The Cristal?
Hey, you got Keith Richards is out there, you know.
Keith, did you say Richards?
Keith Richards, man, he's I'm telling you, you know, like he's been through everything, and he's still kicking.
Well, he's
so.
like the
gonna
Hulk.
say.
He's immortal too.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
He's
That's
the zombie
exactly.
of Keith's.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Right.
he's a great man, I gotta say.
Right. So I got one or two last questions for you before we let you go.
Oh, okay.
What was the last movie you watched and why?
Last movie that I watched. Oh gosh. Wait. Okay. The moment you asked me that, it went right out of my head. Wait a second. Actually, it was a horror movie. Smile 2.
Smile
2. Holy cow. That was yikes. that was great. It was different. I won't spoil anything, but it was a good horror movie, and I've seen lots of them, so it takes a lot for me to say.
I watch a lot of horror movies. I love watching
you do,
horror
yeah.
movies.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like the roller coaster ride.
Yes.
That's my roller coaster. Because you get scared, you can laugh. You get shocked. It's great. Horror
And the
is
good ones have
fantastic.
boobs.
There you go.
Well, it only took an hour and 6 minutes.
Well, I mean, every once in a while, yes, that's
Right.
true.
Hey,
I watch most of the Blumhouse horror stuff, and
Okay, nice.
the James Wan stuff, Conjuring, Annabelle, all that stuff is pretty cool for right
the
now.
suspense, scary stuff.
Yeah, the suspense, scary stuff. Best thing. What was it? It was Annabelle, and the woman, the mother, going down to the basement, and she knows there's something there. She gets back into the elevator. She presses the button. The elevator doors close, and then they open again, and she's still in the basement, and that thing is. There's something in there. It just keeps closing
actually,
and keep opening up. Freaks me out. That freaks me out. Yeah.
Nice. So you like the horror thrillers, those kind of movies.
Yes. Yeah. I need that you know there's something there, but you're not sure what it is, and sometimes it's even better when they don't show it. So that's like things like The Haunting and things like that, So
right.
Yeah.
Right. Did you get ugly all of a sudden, Ben?
Ooh.
No,
Ben's gone.
My camera decided it was going to just
okay.
tweak out for a second. Yeah.
So thank you, Leo. I watched a cool movie the other day. I think it came out this year, 24, called The Cellar Door.
The Cellar Door.
It's called Cellar Door.
Oh, just the name makes me want to watch it. Really? Oh, great.
Fantastic. Lawrence Fishburne is in it.
Oh.
Yeah, and what's that other actress's name?
Now you can see my green screen.
There it is.
Yeah, that's all right. So I highly recommend that. That's a great thriller. It's a great thriller movie. And I'm very good at knowing what's going on in these things, and I had no fucking idea.
Oh, that's great. I like to be surprised. I've seen so many horror movies.
that technical glitch was my cat.
Oh.
Yeah, she walked across behind the computer and hit the cord to my camera and unplugged it from my USB. I'm like,
oh no. Wow.
Nice.
But I just let her go.
Yep. All right, so my last question. I always ask everybody this: is what do you like on your pizza?
On my pizza, sausage. I like sausage pizza. Yes,
Nice.
yes. We had Ray's Pizzeria here in New York City, and that was like amazing pizza back then. But uh, I like the thin crust. That's like kind of almost like slightly burnt. I mean,
The
it's
pub
gotta
style.
be crusty. Yeah, yeah, it's gotta be crusty. The ends have to be crusty. Like the cheese that kind of like stretches. Like I like that. Just some
Oh,
nice sausage. Yes, yes. That's what I like.
very cool. Very
Oh
cool.
yeah.
Nice.
Leo,
Now
I
do
know.
you
Go ahead.
chunks of sausage or sliced?
I you know what? That's interesting. There was a long time when it was like basically sliced sausage, but I like the chunks actually. Chunks are good too. Chunks are
Okay.
good. Yeah. Mhm. Yeah. The slices stay on the pizza better. They
Yes.
don't kind of like fall off. but yeah,
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 the
I'd
other
go for
ones
the
just
chunks.
I feed the dog with the pieces that fall off. So yeah.
There you go. Uh-huh. Yeah.
Nice.
Yes.
Leo, you have a last question for this amazing guest. So
Yeah, I think yeah, it's been a while.
Yeah.
What do you dork out about when you're not doing awesome comics?
Um, other artists, other
Other
artists,
artists?
actors that I might run into if I'm at a show. I sometimes it makes me not want to say anything, or like, I get kind of shy, and like I'm afraid that if I'm gonna say something to him, it's gonna sound really dorky, really, really bad. I mean, I'm making these scenarios up in my head. It's horrible, So I kind of like want to sometimes back up, but sometimes they they they're open and friendly. So then I could kind of like talk to them and feel like I won't be too bad. But yeah, that's my dorkiness. Yeah.
well, there you have it, folks.
Yeah, love it.
So make sure you head out to any one of those 5 events that we've already mentioned. Check out the show notes up above or down below, depending on where you're watching or listening to us. Follow Keith, give him a shout, go introduce yourself, check out his table. I mean, he's always, like I said, he's always got amazing stuff on his table. I mean, all the other artists do too, don't get me wrong.
Oh yeah.
Don't get me wrong. But Keith is the Crystal of Keiths. Legendary. He's worked with them all. On both sides, too. He's worked for Marvel and DC. He's worked both sides of the spectrum, folks.
Oh, yeah.
Go both ways, do you, huh?
Yes, I do. I do. I got to admit it. Got to admit it.
So, Keith, where do you like interacting with your fans on the social medias?
Instagram, it's Keith Williams Comic Book Art. With Facebook, it's Keith Williams. I'll be the guy that's doing this, so you'll know that that's the right one. And basically that's it. Besides traveling around to different conventions, you can find out about them on those sites too.
Right, like I said, folks, all that's in the show notes up above or down below. So Keith has 5 more appearances this year between now and the 15th of December. Then he's on a brief hiatus to spend some family quality time and catch up on his work, like he said.
Yes.
So, Leo.
Yeah.
This is a little bit of a twist.
Oh, I know. Holy crap. Like, anyway, just Google me. You'll find me. There's a bunch of stuff about me. Some may be true. Some may be not. I totally forgot my spielers. But I do the time that I do have, I do find time to do a weekly show called Splash Pages. We do that live every Tuesday. Where we interview comic book creators, and hopefully one day maybe we'll get Keith on. That'd be awesome. Putting the invitation out there, Keith.
Okay.
But we've recently had Mark Wade, Eric Larson, just awesome people every week. And head on over to our YouTube. We got a ton of content over there. I take the shows, chop them all up. And I also do like a Batman show and stuff like that. So that's it. That's me. And other than that,
that's not enough, right?
Yeah. And then during the day, you can just find me doing my day job.
Everybody needs a day job.
Yep.
Yeah.
Leo, thank you. It was a pleasure to sit and chat with you again.
Same here, Jeffrey.
I hope you make more apperances.
Yeah. I told Ben I could do shows every now and then. So yeah.
All right, fantastic. No, I love it. It's nice to have you as a special co-host as opposed to the monkey behind the keyboard.
Well, you know what that means, right? Because Leo is the producer of the opening of the show, folks. For you watching and listening to us, so Leo is the brain behind compiling all those images and putting it to the music that we supplied for him, along with guests, past guests and things. Just means that when he does season 6's intro, he's going to have to move himself from the monkey behind the keyboard to special co-host.
Right. See. And I want to thank Keith for coming out and joining us. And go check your website, because I think there might be some other stuff in there that you might want to look at. I'm just saying. And as far as us, stilltoking.com, Toking with the Dead on Facebook. We do have Instagram and shit. I don't do that. That would be Ben. So if you get a bad answer, blame him, not me. And this coming Monday, we have a special show coming up at 7:00 Eastern time, where we are premiering our first animation. So be sure to tune in and check out that. All right.
Yes, and we will have some special guests joining us.
Yes, we will.
So
I'm
we're not sure.
Yeah,
we're not sure. I know we have a couple from the cannabis industry that is going to be joining us, and actress Francesca DeLuca is going to join us from California. So yeah, and there might even be some other special guests. We don't know yet. We'll have to wait and see.
It'll be a hoot.
It'll be something, that's for sure. So yeah, a huge thank you to Keith for coming and hanging out with us tonight and chatting everything ink and pencil and comics and graphic novels and winning awards and being legendary. And make sure you follow him. I know a bunch of people have already chimed in the chat saying, I just followed him on Instagram, I'm going to check him out on Facebook. But in all realisticness, is that even a fucking word?
Realisticness? No. That's a big fucked up word for you, dude.
In all reality, get off your ass, get off the couch, and head down to one of the 5 amazing events that Keith is going to be at in the next month or so.
You mean like New Jersey Comic Fest this weekend, November 10th, Big Apple Comic Con, November 23rd, Northeast Comic Con, Black Friday weekend, CH Collectibles in Connecticut, December 7th, and Ocean City Comic Con, December 14th.
Did anybody else hear that voice in their head besides me?
That was the
it almost sounded like Leo Pond. I'm just saying.
No. It was the voice of dog.
But in all seriousness, to all our veterans and first responders, we want to thank you for doing what you do, so people like us can come up here and do what we do. Stay safe. We'll see you next week. We're out of here. As soon as Ben finds the button, because that's usually Leo's job.